This has been a game changer for our relationship. Something so small because I'm not sure about you, but I know we definitely used to have bickers. Welcome to the Love and Wellness Connection with Leon and Tao, helping you to elevate your health, deepen your love, and live more intentionally.
Today's episode is going to be about the routines that has changed our lives as a couple. We just first off wanted to say thank you so much for the incredible love and support. It's really been amazing to hear what you guys like best from the last episode, and the feedback has been so positive. So thank you again. And in today's episode, we're going to be speaking about 6 routines that have really transformed our relationship over the last 7 years. After today's episode, we believe that you're going to have a deeper understanding about how you can enhance your relationship or even just your quality of life as an individual. These routines are such a staple in our relationship, and I really feel like has built the foundation of our love and absolutely enhanced our wellness at the same time. So we're going to get into the very first of the 6 routines that we're speaking about today. The first one is going to be about our morning routines, right? And what we do to start the day together. And I think Tal is going to be the best person to start this because I feel like the morning routine expert.
Well, I'm definitely not an expert on morning routines, but I do love them. And then morning routines have been something that have absolutely transformed my life. Before I had my morning routines, I was someone who would always rush into the day. I'd wake up snoozing multiple alarms and then just getting overwhelmed with things that were happening in my day a lot more easily. I found that I was a lot more prone to overthinking, to just feeling like the day was passing me by and I wasn't really as present. Whereas now, incorporating a morning routine into my day, I feel like I have that time in the mornings with myself where I'm able to center myself, where I'm able to prioritize things in my day and just be a lot more present throughout the day.
I feel like we've both been on a journey of morning routines, so it's quite a cool one to start with because I've watched how yours has kind of changed throughout the years and what you feel like. I feel like you've kind of found what really works for you now.
Yeah.
And I feel like it seems with you feel like you're in control of your day when you have one. And I recognize how like you have this relationship where it's like if you don't have it, like for whatever reason, let's just say we had a really late night, we had something the night before, whatever it is, I notice how you really try your best to fit it in because you then believe you're going to have a better start to the day, which I think is another element to it, which is like an interesting thing that you might want to elaborate on, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely something which I know helps me. And so if I haven't had enough time, or maybe if we've got a flight to catch or something, we're waking up super early, I feel like I have to fit it in at some point, even if it's not the full routine. What are you smiling at?
I'm smiling because I remember like different times where like we might be sitting on a plane or we might be like driving somewhere in the morning, like early, like to an event or something. And like Tal will be like I'll start talking to Tal and she'll be like, babe, wait, I need to do my morning routine. She'll like in the middle of the car, like, put her headphones on.
Say, I need to meditate.
I'll be like, babe, do you think? Like, and I'll just turn into, like, I want her to do her thing because I know she's going to feel better and think she feels better as well from doing it. So it's like, I'm like, please do it. Like, do what you got to do.
I think it also depends on the person because naturally I'm not a morning person. When I wake up, it takes me a bit of time to get into the day and I can be quite grumpy. So I feel that the morning routine helps me ease myself into the day. It helps me get into a good feeling state. And some people who maybe naturally wake up and they're full of energy, like you, once you're awake, you can just get into it. And I know you've had a different journey with morning routines as well.
Yeah, so for me, like I was someone that very much had a morning routine in my life from the age of 21, I reckon. When I started my personal development journey, when I started my journey of entrepreneurship and being surrounded by just a community of personal development, I learned how many successful people prioritize their mornings and were able to give themselves that time and fill up their own cup so that other people could benefit from the overflow. And I noticed that like there was a time where I almost saw people who had the results in life that I wanted. So I was like, if they have a morning routine, maybe if I have a morning routine like them, maybe I can get the results that they have. It's like I connected it to being successful, right? So I was all the way in, right? Like you'll find it hard to find another person who was all the way in with their morning routine like
Very
me. Like,
structured.
So structured. Like I would have, you know, this is again when I'm like 21, 22. I'd wake up, I'll do my gratitude list, I'll write my goals in the present tense, I'll write, I'm so happy and grateful now that I've I'm earning over £10,000 a month or whatever the goal is I'm working with. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm in my dream apartment or whatever it is, right? Goals, I'll be writing them down in the present tense because mentors I looked up to were saying,
You should do that.
this is a key for success, right? Alongside many other things, right? I've heard of everything, affirmations, visualizations, meditations, variations you can imagine. I've probably done it, right, in my morning routine. And there came a point where from it being like a 15-minute thing, it turned into like an hour, 2 hour thing. And then the gym routine on top, like a 3 hour morning. And I got to the point where in my life, many years later, I kind of felt like I was believing that I needed this routine to be productive. But what I noticed is for me personally, right? I noticed as I matured and got older, as I understood what I needed to do to get to where I need to be in my life, I just felt like there came a point where I was like, you know what? If I feel like doing a routine, I'll do a routine.
Yeah.
If I feel like, you know what, I want to be super productive and just get into the actions I need to do, I can do that. I don't need to prime myself every day because personally, I know that I almost feel like the best routine for me is going and getting stuff done. That's just how I work.
Mm.
So like my morning routine, maybe I might give myself a moment now. Like nowadays, my morning routine makes I wake up, like get out of bed straight away, and then maybe I'll get my caffeine in because I love it. I love a good bit of caffeine, right? I might get a little espresso in, might get my Herbalife tea and whatever it is. And I really feel like for me, I just feel mentally strong about being up early and getting to work. So
Mhm.
that's kind of like how I approach things, and I also simultaneously really respect the way Tao approaches her life with her routines because I know for her, being primed towards her day is a really beneficial thing. So it's like one way is not right or wrong, and I think it's about finding what works for you. Don't get me wrong, there'll be times where I need to have myself a little bit of time. Maybe life's been overwhelming me or whatever it is, and I need to go for a nature walk by myself,
Yeah.
like maybe without towel. I don't know if men here can relate to this, but yeah, I feel like as men sometimes we need our own space and just to be like feeling like we're on our own mission. And sometimes independently, when I need my own space, I'll give myself that to just have that thinking time to calibrate, and that's what works for me, you know?
So really what we're saying is find what works for you. If you
Yeah.
need to experiment with different routines and different timings, like I think it also does depend what stage of life you're in. Obviously, if you're a parent and you've got less time or, you've just had a baby, as we have many close friends and family
Mm.
that have, it's a different cycle. It's a different season. But for us, prioritizing our own time in the mornings, for me, it's a lot slower to get into the day. Leon likes getting straight into it. I think that is also quite a masculine and feminine thing as well.
Yeah,
Men,
maybe you're right.
a lot of the time, it's like more action oriented,
Mm.
whereas feminine, and depending on where we are in our menstrual cycle as well, that's also going to have a different impact. So, having our own routines, but then we do also like to start the day by checking in with each other. And as a couple, this has massively helped us to have that touch point early in the day. If we have a little bit more time in the day, say after we've kind of got into our individual days, going for a little nature walk, 10-15 minutes, having a herbal tea or drink or breakfast together, or if we are able to go to the gym, having that as our time when we're connecting,
Yeah.
whether we're working out together or separately. And I think these things, like having your own separate time but then coming together at some point in the day, in that morning part of the day, I feel like that's really been helpful for us.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. It's definitely been helpful. I feel like laying the agenda for the day, just before I go off to see class, whatever it may be, or whether you're going to start your work day, whatever you're doing, I think just letting each other know, oh, this is what my plan is today. And
Yes.
then it feels like at least we're on the loop of what each other are doing.
Yeah.
I think that goes a long way just to make sure you're cohesive and on the same page. Like,
Hmm.
and then, oh yeah, I'm probably not going to be back till later. So we'll check in the evening when we have dinner together.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that, and obviously every day is different, right? So we have routines that we have locked in for certain days, but there's some days where we're like, we'll see if we can make it happen. So I think the overall takeaway from this first, message about morning routine is find what works for you. We're big advocates of making time for yourself no matter what, and not making an excuse to not have time for yourself. I know people that are also parents. I know people that are super busy, but even just giving themselves 15 minutes, you owe it to yourself to give yourself a moment to do whatever that may be. That might be you just going and, brushing your teeth, getting some caffeine in, and like being able to sit on the couch for a moment. that might be as simple as it could be for you, or it might be, you know what, I want to do like a meditation or some routine or a prayer
Or
or whatever,
reading a book
reading
or
a book.
whatever.
Like, there's no right or wrong way. The right way is the way that makes you feel good,
Mm.
and more importantly, makes you feel in control of your life. You know, I'd say the most important one for me is praying, you know, like having a prayer that is just me, my own time with God and praying. That's the kind of go-to that will be for me nowadays. Um, and I think that's an amazing thing for anyone that's open to it.
And for me, it's really meditation. Like I feel like that is such a staple in my routine, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 or slightly longer. I feel like that has such a positive impact. Gratitude, writing a few things that I'm grateful for, and then just setting a few key priorities for the day.
And the real point of having any morning routine is just to not let the day overwhelm you, I think, right? We're saying there's no right or wrong routine. Everything's going to be individual, just like how it is for us two as a couple. And it's just really important for you to know the point of even having a routine is just so you can feel like you're in control and you've got your mind, your heart, and yourself set up so that when you get into the day of dealing whatever you got to deal with, you haven't left yourself behind.
Mm.
That's what I feel like is
Yeah.
really important to communicate, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and get into the next one, which is number 2. It is about movement and exercise and doing that together / individually, and why this is such an important habit. So
Mhm.
personally, I feel like this is again like something that as a couple, we train together absolutely on, I'd say, a weekly basis, you know.
Once a week.
Once a week, I'd say we always get a session in together. I'm personally, as a man, I love training by myself. I love the switch off time it brings. Doesn't mean I don't love training with Tal, right?
But he prefers it
But
most.
I
So.
prefer it. I just prefer it because it's just like, just again, decades of training, you kind of get used to your own kind of presence and the switch off of that. So I personally love that. But I also know how good it is for our relationship when we make time to be able to kind of just enjoy being in the gym environment together, and maybe me like helping you, not because you need it, but just because you enjoy me kind of giving you that guidance and mentorship type thing. Because I've just been training longer. But you, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you need it, but you enjoy it, right?
I do like it.
You like it.
I know that you know
Maybe you
more
don't,
about.
wait. She might not like it sometimes because I'll push her too hard.
Sometimes when he makes me like, especially upper body, I want to train well, and I feel like I do, but sometimes he makes me lift so heavy, and I
Like
can
today,
do it, but
it
I
was
don't like it.
today we had that. That's why it's in her head. But yeah, not so heavy. It's just a little bit out of the comfort zone, I think.
Mm.
Debatable.
But yeah, we do love training, and strength training in particular. It has been a massive presence in both of our lives and a routine that's helped us in many different ways. And there are obviously different forms of movement, and what feels best for you and what you enjoy, that's the key thing to prioritize. And there's individual types of movement like swimming, like weight training, but you can also do some activities with other people, like running, like Pilates, you know, different things that I personally love working out with other people. And especially as I recently started my running journey, I feel like I really enjoy being around other people. I feel like that really adds to the environment. And if you're someone who's earlier on their health journey, being in a group, whether that's a group workout class or with just a few friends or with your partner, like that can be something that's really encouraging and helps you with that routine and with that form of movement.
Yeah, I think there's a social element to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, and I think some people who are craving that or might want that, it's amazing. At the same time, you know, again, for those of you that also are like me, maybe where you like to be independent, I think it's a form of therapy. I think for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and I personally feel like that's a very personal and independent one, where like it almost is like an opportunity to process my emotions and let out stress and blow off some steam in the gym. And I think it's a way in which I can only do that properly when I'm by myself, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get me wrong. Let me talk about the positives that I love about training with you. I love training with you because we're together, we're changing our environment, we're not just in the same space all the time. I think because we know people in our gym as well, it's quite nice because we get to kind of, you know, be a bit more social. I'm definitely much more social than you are when I'm in my own sessions. Like if I'm training with you, I am. But of course, if I need to when I'm by myself, I can be all social and stuff. But like when I'm in the gyms, like, tell me if you can relate. You know, when you're in that gym mode, like you're kind of like angry, but in a good way. Like you're in the zone. Yeah, you're in the gym zone. Yeah, and sometimes the last thing I want to do is be like having a happy clappy, like, hey, how you doing? It's like, I love it. I can do that. I can turn that on, but sometimes I just want to be like,
That being said, Leon has so many friends in the gym. Every time we go to the gym, he's saying hi to so many people. And this has been consistent throughout our life. It's really friendly. Even though he says this, and even if he's in his own session, he's really friendly. And loads of people, you have so many connections and friends at the gym.
do you know what it is? I like to make people feel good. Like if someone's doing something well, like I'll tell them. Or if I like how someone's dressed or something, or I like someone's trainers, like I like to,
Compliment.
I like to compliment people and make them feel good. Like even if I'm not going to see them again, you
And
know. So
I think that's such a special thing to do as well. And I think people need to do that more in life, because a lot of the time we can think something about someone and in a good way, like, oh, I really like what that person's wearing, or I really like how they speak, whatever the thing that you're thinking, but maybe you don't say it through
yeah,
your own insecurities. But it's such a powerful thing to be able to speak to that person and share. And I think especially when you're in the gym and when you're doing a form of movement, that's a great way to connect with someone
it
and
is.
bring in that social element.
Absolutely, and like even another way is like someone's exercising in a really great way, or they're strong. Like us guys, we always do it to each other. Like, oh, you're strong, bro. It's like, oh, I'm trying to get like you. That's like the typical thing guys say to each other. But like to be honest, like the thing about it is you just don't know, like that little compliment. It can make someone's day, and it might be something they needed to hear.
Mm.
And like I'm a big believer in just like if you can say something positive to someone, just do it. Do you know what I mean? I don't overthink it. Don't worry about judgment. Like just uplift one another, because like that's how you'd want someone to treat you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And so much of the time, we don't know what's happening in people's
Yeah,
lives.
you never know.
And things can be really challenging and they might not show it. And especially if it's a stranger and you don't know them. But just saying something nice to them, complimenting their outfit, complimenting their appearance, that can have a really profound impact.
You can. I also think because when I'm in the gym, I can look quite intimidating. So sometimes if I'm like on my screw face, and someone might be like, "Who's this guy? This guy's a crazy guy, like training like a madman." But it's like I'm friendly. Don't worry. Like I try not to scare people away. But
But back to movement
yeah.
and back to moving individually and as a couple. Something else that we personally really like to do,
Mm,
which we've already mentioned, is going for walks in nature. Nature
yeah.
time is something that's so important for us
Hmm.
and for me, and it's something that we've, I think, craved
Mm,
being living in more of a city where we previously were. And I actually, in my psychology degree, my dissertation was on the therapeutic benefits of hiking in nature on well-being. And so I remember when I was doing this research and I did interviews for that, just hearing how many people were positively impacted by that time in nature.
mm.
And they would go hiking and walking in nature. They would go individually and they would go in groups. And it really is absolutely incredible what it can do for your mental state, for your social skills, and like just being around nature, being in that presence. And being in nature is free, right? So it's something that's easily accessible. And there's so many benefits to being in nature as well. There's loads of studies that have been done on it, even forest bathing, which is a Japanese study, and the benefits of being in nature and what that really can do for you. So I really recommend looking into that. But it's something that's a big part of our routine and something that's helped us to connect and be present as a couple.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when you've lived in London your whole life, you kind of like don't realize how being around the city and that busy lifestyle can impact you. But as soon as you kind of separate from that and you just like hear the birds and you're looking at a beautiful scenic sunset or whatever it may be, like where we live now, it's just like you kind of it almost slows you down. I feel like it just slows you down and brings you back to earth a little bit and keeps your feet on the ground kind of. And I feel like that's a really nice feeling. You said something just before you were talking about like social skills. What do you mean by that when you say like you think being in nature helps your social skills?
I personally think it's kind of easy to talk to people when you're
Right.
walking and when you're
Okay.
moving, because you're not focused so much on the conversation and kind of speaking to that person. You're more just being present with the activity. And conversation, it's something that's maybe easily flows. I definitely find that, when I'm walking and if there's people that I don't really know as well, especially at university, I used to be part of societies where we'd actually go hiking in
Mm.
the Midlands where I was studying. And I didn't know these people, but I found it was kind of easy just to make conversation and connection. And even, when we've been traveling and there's been people around the areas where if we're going on a walk or a hike, and it's just easy to make conversation.
So number three. We're going to be speaking about cooking and eating together. This one's for the foodies out there. If you're a foodie, let us know.
We
'Cause
definitely are.
I think we're a couple of foodies, and we do love a good meal. But why don't we go ahead and speak about just the act of making food for each other? So we've recently, I'd say, would you say the last year especially, but maybe before, been able to start making the effort to make meals for each other more consistently, right?
Yeah, I would
Um,
definitely say more consistent.
so this is something we actually do on a weekly basis. We always cook for each other. Tara definitely cooks for me. She knows that is the way to my heart. Cooking a good meal, especially after a gym session or being out working the whole day, whatever I may be up to. And I just feel like it is an amazing way to show affection.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a great way to connect with that other person over a meal. And especially if you've made the time and you've put in the effort to cook for your partner or your friend or your family member, it's a really loving and caring thing to do because they know how much time you've put into that meal, especially if it's something that you haven't made before or something that I've recently started doing is making sourdough and gifting it to people. And I really enjoy that, you know, seeing how they enjoy eating it.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I want her to keep making it because she's really good at it. And yeah, exactly. It's like the effort of the actual preparation and the time you put in. It's like pouring your love into this sourdough and giving it to them. Like it's a lovely thing to do. And I feel like when it comes down to food, like there's so many things that like our different cultures really focus on around food and
Yeah.
celebrating with meals, right? So you
That
know,
I think that's a big part of all cultures as well, different types of food and
mhm,
different traditions around food. And food is such a social thing as well. And so incorporating that into our relationship has massively helped us
yeah,
and making the time. Because I know there was a time when we didn't really prioritize that. Of course, we'd go out to eat, but making the time to sit and cook and
mhm,
kind of get better at cooking as well and having that present time where we were eating and speaking and having conversations and spending more time at the table, whereas previously we'd eat really quickly
yeah.
and
Like I would be finishing with my work day or something and have something to do, and I think I would just like make my food and then just eat, and like not even eat at the table, just eat like whilst sitting down with the table in front of the sofa quickly, and then go do what I've got to do. And I've realised like this is the point. If you're not making time with other routines, and then you're not eating together, you can kind of impact the way that
get disconnected.
your communication.
Yeah.
Like if you do these 6 things that we're sharing all together, I feel like your relationship health's unbelievable and your health of yourself is amazing. So that's why this applies to no matter who you are, whether you're in a couple or not, right? But if you especially neglect all of these, it has the opposite effect. Like if you don't go in nature together, if you don't have any touch points in the morning with each other, if you don't eat together, like all of these things, if they're disconnected, it starts to, I feel like, really unconsciously over time separate people
Yeah.
because there's no communication, there's no actual quality time you're spending together. And I feel like these are the foundations of like the things that create the want to have affection with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I've realized, that it's all connected.
Yeah, absolutely. And having communication issues is such a prevalent thing in a lot of
Most
relationships.
relationships.
And most relationships that can be like the breakdown of those relationships, a lot of it can be boiled down to issues in communication. And especially with food, there was actually a study in Oxford that was done that said sharing meals together and having that time of social bonding is a massive predictor
Mm.
of happiness across relationships across different cultures as well. So it really is something that we have made more effort to prioritize. And I think that has really added to our relationship and our ability to communicate, because how many times over a meal do you start sharing things and having that conversation? Like you're eating, you're speaking, that's part of the meal.
I think especially the evening meal, because like there might be days where I'm out early and we haven't been able to do things such as the nature walk or like having much of a touch point in the morning because she's still sleeping. But
No.
I'm only joking, But like, but the thing is, right? Let's just say we haven't had that time together early in the day. Later on, if we have an evening meal together, we get to catch up about how our day's been. We get to be able to kind of just regroup.
Hmm.
And I feel like, especially that evening dinner, like that dinner, I think that's a really good one that we've done a good job of. But specifically, let's talk about the actual act of making food for each other, because I think we probably appreciate it mutually, like on that high level. Like we both really love when the other person, like Tao has this thing called yummy dance. Like when I start making food for her and I bring a meal to her, like she's like dancing,
It's
she's like, oh, she can't contain it. Like she has to show it by dancing, and we call
yeah.
it the yummy dance.
It's when I have a good meal. So when it's at a restaurant or when Leon's cooked something and I'm really hungry or when he brings me snacks.
She's a snacker.
I'm a snacker and I love a sweet treat. So
Like
Leon
so much so,
knows.
like let's just say we had a little bicker or something about something minor, right? If I want to make up to Tao, right? Go and get her a snack that she likes. That's my
And give me
go-to.
lots of cuddles.
Yeah, cuddles as well for sure. So the next one is about just evening time. Evening time, maybe you've both finished work or finished whatever priorities you're doing.
Yes, so evenings and evening routines, I think similar with mornings, it's important to have your own evening routine. And, whether it is after work, you're doing activities or you're working on a business or whatever it is, making some time after that for yourself to prioritize winding down, to prioritize having that present time to switch off from the day and to decompress, whether it's watching a show you like or reading a book or whatever it is, having that time where you're really able to take time off technology, be a little bit more present in the activity that you're doing, and get ready for sleep.
I think there's that element of it, but also at the same time, if you're ambitious, just like we are, whether you're in a couple or you're an individual, depending on the day, right? There's times to decompress, but there's times to like compress. There's times to realize that after your 9 to 5, the power is having that 5 to 9. Yeah. And that being the time where you can work on your goals that are outside of your work day, especially if you work a job. I've realized for me, as an entrepreneur, those hours, they're very, very valuable. They're very, very valuable if you haven't got a lot of time. I try and put my time earlier in the day because I have the ability to do that. But I know if I was working a job that had like exact timings, right? I know that time is like the golden time to create your dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As cliche as that sounds. So like there's a time to decompress, but I also just feel like it's important for people to know there's a power in using your evenings to build your future as well. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. Evenings and weekends and the time that you do have.
Yeah.
And then after that, decompress. That was
Yes.
really my
That's what we're
point. Like
saying, yeah.
after you've been able to work, or if you find in the evenings, that's when you can fit in your movement. Whatever it is for you, having that time to prioritize and you really can make incredible use of the evenings. That's when you can prioritize things for growing your future, for growing your vision and the goals that you're working on. But then having some time after that to decompress, to really be present, to wind down from the day. And if you're doing that individually or if you can do that as a couple as well. I know we love to make sure that there is time without technology. And I personally, and Leon's recently been using an app called Opal. And this is great for setting app limits on your day. And I can set in the morning and in the evening for it to go on a certain time. And then I can't access social media. And this is something that really helps me, especially because I know I can be on it, but too much.
We could all be on it too much.
Yeah.
And the thing is, guys, this is it. Like, it's only right to touch on this. We can all just scroll for the rest of the day till we go to sleep and be on our phone while we go to sleep. Like, we've all been there, probably. Yeah, we've all probably watched things on our phone for too long, whether it's YouTube, whether you're on apps like TikTok or whatever it may be. Yeah, it's very easy just to take that easy option to just scroll and just switch off and kind of like
Switch off thinking.
yeah, switching off your thinking and like cool. There might be a moment to do that if you want to just like turn your mind off for a moment. Like that's each to their own. But trying to switch off in ways that are a little bit, I think, more intentional. You know what I mean? Like, something like whenever I feel like I'm overwhelmed that I need to decompress, I think gaming's unbelievable. And for me, like, I don't even have a console, yeah, but like, there's like a little game on my phone I might play on a rare occasions when I have the moment to where I just want to switch off. And like, for me, that's a nice switch off, yeah. And not really one of those people that just goes and watch TV. We don't watch TV really.
No, there
Like,
are a couple
like
of
we,
shows that we've made time to
yeah,
watch
people think we're
together.
mad when we say that, by the way. Like, I remember telling something that, how we didn't have a TV, like, we never used to watch TV for like 5 years, like, in a relationship. I remember telling someone and they were like...
We watch films, but we didn't really watch TV.
Yeah, we watch a film occasionally. Like,
we love our films.
Yeah, yeah. If we have a date night each week, and if we're not going out doing something, normally I'll go to will be like, we'll watch a little film on our date night and just
Yeah.
enjoy switching off together,
Mhm.
decompressing from the week. And I like that. That's nice. Like, I think that's cool, you know?
Mhm.
But yeah, I was just saying, like, if you're like me and you, maybe when you're younger, you used to game is like a little nostalgic and harmless way of me switching off. And I like that sometimes.
And
So
I find that with reading, and I love reading, especially at the end of the day in the evening. I find it so relaxing
yeah.
if I've had a long day and I can make time for a long hot bath with my books. I'm like,
I feel like I know all about her books because she tells me about every book she reads. I'm like,
not everyone.
why do I know this? You know, not everyone.
Definitely not
These cheeky
everyone.
books, but yeah, these romance books, man. I don't know, man. If it's just my partner.
No, they're very popular. If you know, you know. Romantasy books are the best. But anyway, back to back to our routines, and you know, these are things that we enjoy, and maybe you find that like something that you enjoy, it was something you also used to enjoy when you're younger. Gaming, reading, these are all things that we enjoyed when we were younger.
Another thing that I love to do is watching my football team. Obviously, I support Arsenal. For my football fans, you know what it's like when you get to watch your team. And I feel like for me, that's my favorite, like above everything. If I'm going to switch off, I'm going to have those little moments in the week. Might be watching Arsenal and a little teeny bit of gaming, and that'd be the nice decompressor I need. Apart from
Mhm.
that, we got to work hard.
Yeah, so these are a few examples of ours, and obviously you're going to have things that you enjoy, and like making time for these to be present in your day. I think that's really important. And then having a touch point as a couple, as we mentioned, that's something that we like to do in the evenings before our day, setting a few priorities of what we're going to do the next day or anything that important's coming up, and doing this without technology, being present and having our cuddle time as well.
But an overall message that I feel like is really important to share, especially if you're like us, you know, we're both 29, and you could say that the building our future phase where we're like super clear on what we want and we're really excited for the next chapters in our life and our relationship. I want you to also have the knowing that you got permission to work hard. You got permission to sacrifice your quality time sometimes, right? You got permission to work hard on your dreams or your business or your idea that you're working on or the idea that you haven't yet taken action on. Like, I want to encourage you to be ambitious and be above average as well. Like, we're talking about these things because this is truth. We do these things. We love these routines. Sometimes there's going to be moments where you don't have the time to have all this quality time.
Yes.
It's so important you know this.
It's the season, like what season you're in.
It's absolutely fine if you need to sacrifice certain things because as a couple, you know where you're going. And we still do that. Like, we don't go on as many holidays as we might want to because we're trying to work on certain things and we're thinking about the future. We might be saving a little bit more right now than maybe if, you know, we wanted to just act on what we want to do. Let's go on this holiday. Like, we've done that before. We've just gone on holidays because we want to go on holidays. But it's like, oh, we got bigger things, we got bigger fish to fry in the future. We got things that we want to go ahead and achieve. Like, there's going to be times where you're going to have to make some sacrifices. I'm talking about quality time that we're encouraging you to do. There are times where they need to take a hit because you're trying to grow and go somewhere. And there's only so much time we have. If you go and achieve all your goals in life, you're going to have a time to sit down and relax and enjoy the fruits and reap the fruits. Yeah. And if you're not where you want to be right now, like, I've always believed that you need to be a bit dissatisfied. You know what I mean? If you're comfortable and you're just lovey-dovey with your couple, with your partner, and you're just like, yeah, everything's sweet. We just want to live life because you only got one life. That's all good to a certain extent. If you're ambitious and you want to have an extraordinary life, it means you need to act in a way that ordinary people don't. That's vital. So my message to you is like, you have permission to be ambitious, and like, we sharing these things, we better believe like these are the moments of our week. These are the fractions of our week. Apart from that, we're working and we're trying to build something for the future. And that's the way we actually live. But this is an insight because our Love and Wellness podcast is to enhance your love and enhance your wellness. And this is done that for our relationship. But I want you to know, apart from that, we're working towards building something. And I encourage you to do the same if you're also ambitious and want an extraordinary life.
And that in itself is part of enhancing a relationship. You know, if you're
Facts.
working on something as a couple together,
Mm.
that can be really powerful if you have a shared goal and a shared vision, and this is something that you're watering, and you know, you the other person is understanding if you can't spend as much time with them. And as Leon said, these are things that we do within our routines, but we're not doing this every single day. We prioritize within our week when we can spend that quality time together. But these are like the minimum things that we can do in the morning to have those touch points, or like have a meal in the evening together. And, all of this doesn't have to take much time, but it's about that, making that a priority where you can, to add to the quality of your life and to the quality of your relationship as well. And just to come on to the last 2 points. So the next one, similar to evenings, is to do with sleep as well. Sleep routines are so important, and they've had a massive impact on our lives. I know, especially for me, I was someone that did not used to prioritize sleep. I didn't realize negative impacts it was having on my health, on my productivity, on my emotions. And so making more of a priority in our sleep and in our routines, and a evening routine is part of that, because they go together. Like, if you have some sort of evening routine, that's going to help your sleep routines, and that also helps your morning routines as well. So these are interconnected. But something that we've done recently is this Scandinavian sleep method, where we're sleeping in the same bed, but we have our own duvets. and
So important.
this has been a game changer for our relationship. Something so small, because I'm not sure about you, but I know we definitely used to have bickers when we'd like
Not even because, like, just be in the middle of the night where one of us is pulling the cover too much and she gets cold like the snap of her fingers. So, like, if I pull the cover a little bit too much, she's freezing. Like, she becomes an icicle, a human icicle, yeah? And then similarly, like, if she pulls the cover, I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to be, like, not very happy. So we just were like, nah, we need to find a way around this. And I think it is an actual game changer. Like, if you're not doing it, guys,
you should do it.
Jump on, because it's crazy.
It's made such a positive impact, because we're not having that bicker about the covers, and we're able to sleep more soundly throughout the night. I feel like we have less disruptions for those reasons. Leon's a light sleeper, and I get really cold, so I need a lot of duvet like wrapped around me. So I feel like that has really helped us, and just like finding what works for you.
I don't know how we didn't do it before. Like
it's not something you think about.
Yeah, I know, really, because it's not normal, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know how we managed to, for so long. I was sharing the cover. Like, I've never used it. I don't like.
So yeah, this is definitely something that's helped us. Something small, but something really powerful.
Small, but it's big, guys. You know why it's so funny to tell you about it? It's because, like, I remember, yeah, like, I'll be waking up in the middle of the night and Tal will be taking over my whole side of my bed. And I'll be on the side of the bed, like, just because she's moving when she's sleeping and stuff.
And because I'm trying to go closer to the
She's trying to get close to me.
And the warmth.
She's trying to take my heat, yeah. And the whole cover will be around her, and I'm thinking, this is not right. This is inequality, And then when we finally got our own one, like, it's just making me laugh thinking about before, But sleep's good now because we got our own one.
Yeah, and sleep is so important. So
I
finding what works for you.
I don't play games on my sleep. Like, I'm making time to get to sleep early because I'm waking up early, and I feel like a different level when I wake up properly.
Mm-hmm.
And if I lose a couple hours sleep, better believe I'm not working optimal.
Yeah.
And I think it just impacts different people differently. If you don't sleep properly, it impacts your emotions, it impacts how you train, it impacts just every little area that I care about.
Yeah, and to come on to the last one, which is routines around adventure and play and activities. And as Leon mentioned before, there's going to be seasons in your life when you have more time for this, but it's still really important when you are busy, when you are in that season of grinding or working towards a goal, to make time to be present with some activities and have a little bit of time to be present, to enjoy yourself, and to have that quality time in your relationship.
I feel like it's really important because even though, we're big advocates of working hard and, being able to build a future, like, we actually do have one life at the same time. This is an important thing to balance. And it's like, what really matters is it's creating memories of the people you love, right? And if you have a couple and you love each other like we do, it's like, you can't get lost in the work. You can't get lost in the day-to-day stresses of life. Like, we have to be able to sometimes create that time and make those memories and have some fun and whatever that fun looks like for you. And I feel like it's great. Like, we're going, we're making a trip this weekend
Staycation.
Yeah, is that what you're calling it?
Yes, it's a staycation when
Okay,
you're
that,
staying.
that's what we're calling it. Staycation. And yeah, and like we're doing that because why? Because the last time we done it was a while ago. So it's like, all right, let's do that. It's going to be great. Change our environment. I'm going to have a great time. And by the way, guys, to be super transparent, that's something we're trying to improve on.
Hmm.
I'd say, like as a
Yeah.
couple, we definitely haven't mastered any of these things. We're working on it, and we're very much sharing and trying to just open that up to share with you guys so that you can understand what we're trying to be better at
Hmm.
as a couple. And this is probably one of the ones I'd say that really stand out that we're working on being better with, hence why we're taking the certain actions that we just shared, like this trip coming up.
Yeah. And having that time for your relationship is so impactful because you're creating more memories with that person, you're bonding with them. And if you're not in a couple, like doing this with close friends, doing it with family, like making time for that within the month. It doesn't have to be a weekly thing that you do, but like prioritizing that so you have that opportunity
Mm,
to be present, to create memories, to enrich that relationship. And that's really what life's about. And because we only live once and life is so short, you never know when things are going to happen in your life and circumstances are going to change. Like today is the youngest that you're ever going to be moving forward. So really prioritizing the time that you have to enrich your relationships, to have quality time, to enjoy being present, and within your life where you can add these routines, we think is going to be really helpful because it's had a positive impact on us. And that's really what this podcast is about, sharing things that have worked for us, sharing things that we're working on. And please do give us feedback if there's any routines that you've implemented that have really helped you, or if you're in a couple or individually. We'd love to hear and we'd love to find out.
absolutely. So that's it for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed. Those are the 6 routines that have transformed our life as a couple, and we hope that you guys can take some of this value, apply it into your life, whether you're in a couple like us or whether you're an individual just trying to improve your life. This applies to every single one of you. So
Hmm.
we love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode.
Remember
Remember,
to like and subscribe where you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. And we'll see you next time.
let's get it.